Okay, take 55, my lucky number. Uh, this is Juliana, the EFT practitioner, and I am here today to deliver a video for somebody who requested in my last video that I covered EFT for repressed sadness. Okay, so if you ask somebody who repress your sadness, there might be many reasons why you do it. It could be that you live with demanding people, with selfish people who cannot see other people to be sad because they will immediately steal your thunder and suddenly be more sad than you and have a bigger problem than yours. That could be one thing. It could be that you were brought up by people who worked really hard and therefore you feel the pressure of being happy. It could be that you don't like to show yourself to other people. You don't like to expose how sad you are. Perhaps you think it's a weakness. It could be many things why somebody would repress their sadness. And the thing is, when we repress something, it will ooze out somewhere else somehow in a different way. Sadness and anger are the same thing. And if I repress my sadness for a very long time, I will start snapping at others. I will become angry. I could, for example, start overeating. I could over-exercise, I could take drugs, alcohol. Many things could happen when you are repressing an emotion. So, do you know why is it that you repress your sadness? If you know why, I want you to think about when was the last time you did it. Let's say, for example, that last week someone was rude to me and I felt like I couldn't show it because it would have been a weakness if I had. So I had to repress my sadness. I had to show a big smile instead. So if you know when was the last time you did it, we're going to work with that. If you don't know, if you know vaguely that you repress your sadness, but you really don't know why, there might be many aspects. I will start this video by doing a general tapping, and then for the second part of the video, we'll try to be more specific, okay? So let's start with the general aspect of why is it that somebody would be repressing their sadness. And we do some general tapping. And you try to keep with the general tapping until you have an insight for the reason why is it that you feel that you have to repress sadness. And then perhaps trying to figure out as well when was the last time you did. So then you can proceed on to tapping in the second part of the video. I'll try to cover as much as I can with the minimum information that I have, okay? All right, so let's start with this tapping sequence, a general one. Even though I repress my sadness, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I cannot show weakness, I live with very demanding people, with selfish people who will not let me be sad. They will steal my thunder. My background is a tough one. People worked really hard to bring me up and give me a good life, so I feel like I cannot be sad ever. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, one more time. Even though I do repress my sadness, There could be many reasons why I do it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I repress my sadness, there could be many reasons why I do it. Might be the people I live with, my background history, the fact that I cannot show any weakness, and being sad means I'm weak. I deeply and completely accept myself. So let's just start tapping generally on your repressed sadness, okay? This repressed sadness in my body. If you know since when you've been doing that, you can say it as well. This repressed sadness in my body. 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 It is very hard for a Portuguese speaker to speak another language, especially English. This repressed sadness in my body. This repressed sadness in my body. I need to tap on that, don't I? Okay. This repressed sadness in my body. 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 All the sadness in my body. I've been repressing my sadness since I was a kid. I have been repressing my sadness in my body. All this hidden, stuck sadness repressed in my body. All this hidden, stuck sadness, all repressed in my body. All this repressed sadness oozing out in a different way. This repressed sadness in my body, oozing out as being snappy, as being angry, as being angry, oozing out as overeating, procrastinating. All this repressed sadness in my body. All this repressed sadness in my body. So you do a few rounds of this, and I hope it has given you a chance to figure out why is it that you've been repressing your sadness. And even if you knew it before we did this, it's good to just do this bit of tapping anyway before you go to second part of the video, just to kind of settle your nervous system a bit, so you don't go into any triggering mode, okay? Right. Okay, this repressed sadness in my body. If you have figured out now, why is it that you do repress your sadness, then write it down. And also I want you to write down, when was the last time you felt that you were repressing your sadness, and why? Okay, and I want you to figure out as well, take a deep breath, take a moment, tune in with your body. Where in your body do you repress sadness? Okay, so why do you repress it? One aspect. Second aspect, when was the last time you did it? Okay. And third aspect, where in your body do you feel it? And now, fourth aspect, we're going to give it a rate of intensity right now. When you remember the fact that made you repress your sadness, if you're remembering it now, how do you feel about it? What's the intensity of it? From 0 to 10, as in 0 being neutral and 10 the most intense it can be. Okay, I'm gonna give an example here just for the sake of the video, but you can either, if you write down all your aspects and you follow along by voicing out what I am saying, you will find out that you will still have borrowed benefits at the end of the video. You will get a shift, hopefully, at the end of this video. Okay, if you know already all the proceedings of EFT, if you're more acquainted with EFT, you can make your own setup phrase, okay, just by using mine as a template. Okay, so for example, let's say last week I repressed my sadness because I was with my I don't know, my sister, and she happens to be somebody who's overbearing, and she happens to be somebody whose pain is always worse than everybody else's. She has to be the center of attention, and I feel that if I have a problem, I cannot voice it out because her problem is always bigger. So I repress my sadness. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I feel bad for her. She's quite manipulative, and her pain ends up always being worse. So I feel like, or maybe this person have, I don't know, they are in a wheelchair and I don't feel like I have the right to be sad. Okay, so let me pick one. Let me go with my intuition. I will go with this, my third example. I think I'm gonna pick my sister has a health condition, therefore I don't feel like I have the right to be sad because her condition is so much worse, and who am I to be sad? I should be grateful for everything. Okay, so when I think of last week, for the sake of the video, when I felt sad and she was there sitting next to me in a wheelchair, suffering from her health condition, and I just thought, I can't really be sad, not in front of her. Right now, the intensity of it for me is an 8, and I feel it in my chest. So we're gonna go with that example, okay? Great, follow me. Even though I repressed all my sadness in my chest, because last week something happened and my sister was next to me when it happened, or when I was supposed to be sad, and I just couldn't show any sadness next to her because her life is already miserable. Who am I to feel sad? I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this repressed sadness in my chest, because last week something happened to me. And I just looked at my sister and I thought, who am I to be sad when she's so miserable? I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though last week I repressed all that sadness in my chest, and I'm still bearing it. I just thought at the time, who am I to feel sad when she's in a wheelchair, she's miserable. I don't have the right to be sad. I deeply and completely accept myself. Let's go then. This repressed sadness in my chest. All this repressed sadness in my chest. All this repressed sadness in my chest. Repressed sadness in my chest. This repressed sadness in my chest. This repressed sadness in my chest. This repressed sadness in my chest. Sorry. All this repressed sadness in my chest. There is no addition to this, so all these bloopers gonna stay, okay? I'm sorry. This repressed sadness in my chest. I need a speech therapist. All this repressed sadness in my chest. 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 Okay. So you did a few rounds of it. And I want you to check with the initial rate that you've given yourself and see if you've got a little shift. If you're feeling better about it, great. Keep going. Keep tapping. If you feel that you're stuck at some point with the rating, it means you're not being specific enough. There might be an aspect in that scene, a color that comes to mind, a smell, the different look that somebody gave to you. What were you doing at the time? Perhaps you're in the kitchen and you're stirring the food in the pot, something like that. That makes a difference in the tapping. The more specific you are, the better your results. Okay. So keep on tapping. Keep trying to bring that intensity down. The important thing here is that you know why is it that you repress your sadness. And then you start working with specific events. Perhaps you will have to tap on what happened to you. What is it that you were sad in the first place? Because it's being repressed or not, it doesn't mean that there is no sadness. It means the sadness is there, and why. So it might be that you have to tap on the event that made you sad in the first place and not so much on, I repress my sadness. So why is it that you were sad in the first place? And then why is it that you repress sadness? Do you feel like you don't have the right to be sad? Do you feel that that's a weakness when you show sadness? Do you feel that if you are sad, I don't know, you might miss out something? So look into those and write them down and then tap them away. Okay, so I hope that this video has helped you a little bit. Please let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any suggestions for me of things that you would like me to cover next week in my next video. I don't know if next week I'll be able to make a video because it's half term, and yeah, it's a bit hard with children, but I will try my best to deliver a nice video every week. So let me know what you want to hear from this channel. Okay, hope you have enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.